Hey up, it's Steve from Old Yorkshire Geek, and it's an audio commentary time again for members only of the YouTube channel. This week we're doing Aliens Special Edition. Aliens Special Edition from James Cameron. A classic film, one of the best films ever made. I don't think it quite made my top 10, but it's close, it's up there. Obviously starring Sigourney Weaver and many others. Michael Biehn, Lance Henriksen, etc., Bill Paxton, and many more. A great film made on essentially a shoestring budget, more or less, compared to what films of this nature would be made for today. A film like this today would be like hundreds of millions of dollars, and this was made on a fraction of that, with amazing practical effects, and it is just a great film, a great sequel to Alien, not retreading the same path that Alien did, but following up the story and doing and telling the story in a different way, continuing Ellen Ripley's. We find out her surname in this. Continuing Ellen Ripley's journey, but not repeating it. Although she does go up against the xenomorphs again, or is it xenomorphs? Whatever. Right, so if you've got a copy of the Alien Special Edition, queue it up. I've paused it on 5. It says a blank screen. I imagine the 20th Century Fox logo is going to come up any second now, but I've got it paused on 5 seconds. So we'll get on with it, shall we? I've no notes. I'm just going to wing it. Yesterday I watched the great behind the scenes, what do they call it? The documentary, the great documentary that's on the Blu-ray. I think it's comes with the DVD as well. Superior Firepower, one of the best. In the Alien quadrilogy box set, the documentaries on there for each of the films, each of the first 4 films are really, really good. And Superior Firepower is probably the best one, in my opinion. But anyway, so there we go. Making of Aliens. But anyway, right, so we'll get on with it. I'm going to press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Right, there's the 20th Century Fox logo. Bring it back. Bring the Fox part back. I've got it lowered down as much as I can, but you can still hear it. Unbelievable. Is it going to start whispering? It's all quiet. If you hear an external noise, it's a really hot day today here in West Yorkshire. I've got the windows open, I've got my ceiling fan on. My cat's just ligged out. It's too warm for the cat. Anyway, they've got a James Cameron film. Sigourney Weaver, who asked for a lot of money for this film and got it, apparently. For some reason, this part here reminds me of The Fly. Them lines remind me of the pod in David Cronenberg's remake of The Fly. It just does. Which came out the year before this, I think. Anyway. Aliens. See, it just said alien for a long time, and then they stuck the S at the end. Apparently, it would have been called Alien $, because that's how James Cameron wrote it originally or something. It's all about the money or something. Music composed by James Horner. He fell out with James Cameron over this film. He felt he wasn't given enough time, but they got back together again for Titanic a few years later. Peter Lamont, production designer, obviously worked on the Bond films. And here comes the Narcissus, the escape pod from the Nostromo. And we're listening to Strauss. I think it's Strauss, isn't it? Listening to it. Because they played this in 2001, this music, don't they? And if you look, does it show it? I don't know if you can see it. I might have missed it. Look at the bottom of the door, the hatch, whatever you want to call it. harpoon gun is still lodged there. Remember when she got the alien at the end of Alien? There she is, snoozing away. Jones is in there as well, isn't he? This always reminds me of Battle Beyond the Stars, the Hephaestus station. I know it's not, but you never know, it might be. Because James Cameron worked on that as well as a production designer. Anyway. James Cameron had to... Oh, there's the... see, down at the bottom of the door, there's the harpoon gun. James Cameron had to pay for this out of his own pocket, this effect. Well, the machine that's going to come in with the laser and stuff. Because apparently Galen Hurd wouldn't allow it to be in the film if it came out of the production budget. So he paid for it out of his own pocket. She said to him, if you want it, you're going to have to pay for it. So he did. I don't know how much it was. I'm guessing he rented. It's, what they call it? I don't know what they call them. Like a boom. It's like a thing for a camera, isn't it? But they stuck a laser on it. Obviously, harking back to the laser, which wasn't a laser, but it was supposed to be something to do with the xenomorphs, wasn't it? Xenomorphs. How the hell did you pronounce that? The aliens. In the first Alien film that they see in the derelict ship. But this is a human laser. A group of very trustworthy salvagers. There's a dead woman here and a dead cat. No, they're dead. If she's alive, we can't claim this salvage. See, trustworthy. Then Ripley's face turns into the Earth. This is as close to Earth as she gets, unless you watch the alternative version of Alien Resurrection. But I'm guessing you've seen this film before, because I'll be spoiling stuff and talking about things before they happen. If you haven't seen this before, where have you been for the last 39 years, whatever? And second, go and watch it and come back. Here's Paul Reiser as Carter Burke with their futuristic collars on their suits. Now, as I'm guessing you've watched it, we all know this is a dream sequence, but she has very vivid, realistic dreams, doesn't she? If this were one of my dreams, it'd have like a bloody sombrero on or one of them Australian hats with the corks on. There'd be something weird going on. Maybe I eat too much cheese before bed. How did he go by that date, 57? Did he see a tin of Heinz beans as he were writing the script, James Cameron? Kiddo! She's Kiddo. She's Beatrice Kiddo from Kill Bill. Was it Beatrix? I think it's Beatrix Kiddo, isn't it? Because she can balance pints of lager on her head. Beatrix, get it? That's a different film. Shut up, Steve. Now, how did they get the cat to hiss? Did they just get another cat close to it? I think they did, didn't they? Just held another cat close to it. I've always thought this bit looked a bit not goofy, but not quite right. The way where she looks up, you could tell. There you go. I know there's something about the way she is. You know, it's not her body. It's prosthetic and all that. She's under the bed, and for some reason, it just never quite works for me. It's still great. It's still amazing. I'm not one of these that says it takes me out of the film. It's just little things that I notice that I think I'd have done a take two on that and said, "Can you just put your head back a little bit, Ripley? Look as though you're not bending at a funny angle." What sort of hospital allows cats in? A future hospital. Here we are. She's not really in the woods. She's at the view wall. I bet it's called something like that. I've read the book and I can't remember if it says the novelisation. If it says what it's called, that's something like VU dash wall. I don't. I'm just making things up. This is a first scene that's not in the theatrical edition when we're learning about her daughter. Because in the theatrical edition, it just skips to the hearing. So what did she die of? 66 in 20. What? When does this? 2179. Yeah, 2179. This takes place, doesn't it? So obviously, life expectancies haven't gone up in the last 200 years. That is Sigourney Weaver's actual mother, and obviously, image manipulation hasn't gone up. Very pixelated, wasn't it? You're obviously a terrible mother. She's a terrible mother. I'm going to be saying this through the film. I'm joking, but she's a terrible mother. She goes and leaves her daughter while she's off away for God knows how many years on these ships. And then when she finds Newt, she throws hot chocolate in her face. I'm exaggerating. Puts her to sleep with a blazing heater next to her face in a room with face huggers. But anyway, whatever. Which is not a lot, is it? But it's adjusted dollars, so there you go. Space dollars. Apparently so. Now, the upcoming Alien Earth series is kind of gonna refute that, unless it's all got to be kept secret, hasn't it? So I'm laughing with the fellas there trying to get the papers off her.
It is the finding of this court of inquiry that Warrant Officer E. Ripley, NOC 14472, has acted with questionable judgment and is unfit to hold an ICC license as a commercial flight officer. Said license is hereby suspended indefinitely. Now, no criminal charges will be filed against you at this time, and you are released on your own recognizance for a 6-month period of psychometric probation, to include monthly review by an ICC psychiatric technician. These proceedings are closed.
I forgot the name of the actor, him who plays Van Leeuwen. He's in The Haunting, the original 1963 The Haunting, and other things, but that's what just popped in my head about him. They never call it Acheron in this film or any other film, but yet that is the name that James Cameron gave that. It's a moon, isn't it?
They go in and set up these big atmosphere processes to make the air breathable. Takes decades. It's what we call a shake and bake colony. How many colonists? I don't know, 60, maybe 70 families. Do you mind?
Although it does suggest one of the behind the scenes things that Acheron's not its official name. Its official name is LV 426, and Acheron is the name it's being given by one of the colonists because it's a reference from Dante's Inferno. But anyway, I might have a Mandela effect. Did I see this once where it said "Welcome to Hell" on that sign for Hadley's Hope? Is that a different film? Am I thinking of another film? I don't know. I'm sure I remember. It says "Welcome to Hadley's Hope," and somebody scribbled to put "Welcome to Hell," or is that a different film? I don't know. I'm thinking of Star Trek Five, Paradise City. Anyway, it's cool. It's another extra bit, by the way, that's not in the theatrical version. This section with Hadley's Hope and some cool foreground miniatures and what they call it, force perspective stuff and all that. Chap on the right is the captain of the Red Dwarf, I do believe. Don't ask me his name. As I said, I have no notes, and you know what I'm like with names. Wayland Yutani, building better worlds. There we go. This transport thing that I don't know what it's called. that it reminds me of Splinter of the Mind's Eye, the sequel, put in quotes, you can't see me, to Star Wars. The first book that came out after the Star Wars novelisation by Alan Dean Foster. Anyway, so there's Carrie Henn as Newt, Rebecca Jordan, and her actual real life brother, who's called something else. I can't remember. He's something Henn. I've forgotten. He's playing her brother in this. There we go. There's the alien derelict, which the effects team had to rebuild. They couldn't. They found the original one used for Alien, but apparently it was in a sorry state, so they had to rebuild it, so to speak. And then I don't think it got used, did it, in the theatrical edition? Because we never see it in the theatrical edition, do we? So now we know that later on in the film that Carter Burke has sent them to investigate this. Or he's just giving them some coordinates to go and check, the information he got from Ripley. They get inside the ship through a rupture in the in the side of the ship. But in the original one, they got in through portals that looked like lady parts, didn't they? But not in this one. Because I don't think Giger, H.R. Giger, were involved in this film at all, was he? I don't think he was. So there's a passage of time. Now, we don't know how long those two kids have been by themselves. So that mother's almost as bad a mother as Ripley. Guessing they've gone in, they've seen the space jockey, they've found the eggs with the laser beam over them. What's it? Was it the Who or Led Zeppelin that they rented off them? The lasers. Cool. Face hugger. And Newt screams like an annoying brat. Obviously, her scream sounding the same as the howling wind. And then we cut to Ripley. Smoking's still a thing in the 22nd century. She's fed up. Look at her, she's fed up because she's living in an apartment. I'm thinking she's still on Gateway Station here, by the way. I'm not entirely sure, but I think she's still on Gateway. She's been working in I don't know, the docking area, I suppose. It doesn't actually tell us, does it? I can't remember if it does in the book or not. I don't know how much time's gone by because we learned that. I don't know. Is it the transmissions take a week to get there and a week to get back? Because he says it takes 2 weeks to get a reply, didn't he? So as a few weeks gone by now, I'm guessing. By the way, LV-426, as we learned from the first film, is in the system of Zeta 2 Reticuli, which is 39 light. It is an actual star. It is 39 light years from Earth, and it is a sun-like-ish star. Um, I don't know if they found any planets around it yet. I wouldn't be surprised if they have. See, so we know she can work a loader, which we see later on. How has he read her medical reports? Is he that high up in the company? Maybe he is, I don't know. Them collars are kind of annoying, aren't they? You know, quasi-futuristic collars. Makes him look like he thinks he's the Fonz. They've made their apartment look modular, as though it's like a modular apartment, low cost housing and all that. And the bathroom that we're going to see here is actually a bathroom from an aeroplane, an airliner bathroom, which worked. The plumbing all worked and everything, so she could run water in her face. So this is what makes me think, is she still on Gateway Station? I thought they shipped her back to Earth if she hasn't got a flight status, but whatever. Now, who's going to look after Jonesy? Has she got a neighbour to look after him? Or she's just locking him in with a Doc Brown TM auto cat feeder, like we saw at the beginning of Back to the Future. Anyway, here's the Sulaco. It's supposed to look like essentially a rifle, or as Sid Mead or the other fella. Oh, what bloody name now? Described it as an armed cargo ship. And here's a little homage to the first Alien film, going through the corridors of a ship. All the crew's in hypersleep. I think in the novelisation, Bishop, because we're not supposed to learn it yet, Bishop's not in hypersleep, but that's in the novelisation. He's there, because we learn he's an android. He's there to make sure the ship's all working and everything, and monitor the crew and all that stuff. But we actually see his name appear on the computer screen in a minute when they're all bringing him out of hypersleep. So they put him into hypersleep for some bizarre reason. Anyway, I'd have had rats running about, or one or two, or just a rat. I'd have had one running about, scurrying out, That's what I'd have done. But that's just me. The famous shot where they only had Was it two? They just had two, or was it four? I can't remember if they had two or four of those pods. And then they just got mirrors on either end of the set, just to make it look as it goes off into infinity almost. Because when it opens up, you see there's two. Is it two Vasquez's we see, or we see two of one of the actors? If you look carefully, I've never noticed. I'm not quick enough with my old eyes, but apparently you can see two. So they must have had four of them. I'm not sure. A bit of drool, shouldn't they? There's Mark Rolston, who's been in lots of stuff, including Star Trek: The Next Generation. There's Michael Biehn as Hicks, famously replaced. Names. And there's Al Matthews as the Sarge. Apone. James Remar. Michael Biehn replaced James Remar. Aye, aye. See, there's Henriksen, Bishop. Lance Henriksen as Bishop. Why put an android in hypersleep? It's so we don't know that he's an android yet. There's Vasquez, played by Jeanette. Why can I never remember names? And Bill Paxton as Hudson steals the every scene he's in. Apparently, Jeanette Goldstein, really light skinned, that tried to supposed to be, obviously Hispanic or Latino or Latina, whatever. But she's really light skinned. She's not Hispanic, by the way. So she's wearing makeup to make her look a bit more olive skinned, shall we say. Spunkmeyer and Ferro and Frost in the foreground. I'm surprised I'm remembering these characters' names. This is where we learn he's an android. He practiced a lot at this, did Lance Henriksen. I think he does actually nick in the actual take. I think he did actually nick Bill Paxton's hand. But they were told to stay really still while they did it because they were going to speed it up. And then Al Matthews buggers it up there with his head freaking out. But never mind. Behind them, by the way, you can see loads of old vending machines that they got. They used a lot of recycled equipment in this film for the Sulaco. Vending machines and aircraft parts and stuff like that. What is it about spaceships with these, executive toys? In the first one, you had the ducking bird thing, didn't they? In that they've got those thingy-bobs. She doesn't like androids, remember, because of Ash, played by Ian Holm in the first film. Hyperdyne Systems, not Cyberdyne Systems, so not the same ones that built the Terminators. Yeah, all right. Cool set. The dropship hangar. It's a bug hunt. See there on the back, that just above his head there, the red thing, that's what they call artwork on the side of the dropship. It says Bug Stomper. It's got like an eagle with big boots on and firing a machine gun. And it says, we. I can't remember what it says now. We endanger species. That's what it says on it. Don't wonder how many intelligent species they've encountered so far of humans. We know about the Arcturians. They're obviously intelligent. Wonder if they found any others. Did we enslave the Arcturians? Did we conquer them? That's what I want to know. I'm sure people out there know the what do they call it, the beta canon or the extended lore. You tell them Ripley, who Lucky likes her. Stealing the show. I think Hudson's always getting told off by Sarge, and we learn that Gorman, that Lieutenant Gorman is their new CO. So what happened to the previous one? Has Gorman been assigned to them because he's green, and that the company has leaned on the military somewhat, so that they'll fail this mission essentially? I don't know, but there's the cool loader. A lot of people think those are real. They're not. It's all puppetry and cool stuff, and stop motion animation as well. I think we see one in the background in a minute. There's a stop motion one. Chewing his cigar. But it's cool stuff. Is it? James Cameron knows how to do cool buttons, clicks. As Paul Chatto would say, it's gear porn. This is what the kids and the boys like, innit? Stuff that looks as though it works, Obviously, it doesn't have to work, but it looks as though it does cool mechanical stuff. Here we go. Obviously, in real life, I think there's a fella. She's doing the we do with kids where you get the kids to walk on your feet. There was a stop motion one behind it. I think we've seen two Ripleys actually there. So I think the one behind her has a Ripley puppet in. But there's a man behind it actually operating it. It's obviously not super heavy, and she's like walking on his feet, so to speak. There's the pulse rifle, which we'll see a lot of later. I mean, here's Vasquez with her smart gun. Obviously, not holding it; it's fastened to the desk. I wonder if they did that because the fellow that designed the smart gun, he didn't realise that Jeanette Goldstein would be so small. He was expecting, because I think she was described in the script and that as a muscular woman, tough muscular woman. He was expecting her to be taller, and Jeanette Goldstein came in at 5'2", and so they had to redesign her, I suppose, harness or whatever for the smart gun. Here comes the APC, which famously is built around what they call it. I don't know what they call it. It's a tug thing, isn't it? A towing vehicle, for towing aircraft at Heathrow Airport. And when they got it, it weighed 75 tons, and they took 35 tons or 45 tons of lead out of it, but it still weighed a heck of a lot. So James Cameron's so good at this military stuff. He is. He does it again in Avatar. He's good at this sort of stuff. And again, I'm going to say famously a lot because I imagine everybody's watched the documentaries and stuff. The inside of the APC it's a TARDIS. It's bigger than what we see on the outside. But don't worry about it. Nobody, don't overthink it. Because obviously this is a different set. Because obviously they didn't just get in the APC. There was only room for about 3 people inside when they opened that door. Why is Bishop driving the APC? Why not one of the troop, if you know what I mean? Because it's like Pharaoh that's flying the dropship. Why isn't a soldier driving the APC? Why the android who's supposed to be looking after the ship? Never mind. But Bishop is part of their troop, isn't it? Because we learned that because of the knife thing, and so the Bishop's been with them a long time, it seems. So he's part of the team, isn't he? But I'm talking through all this cool military, cool stuff. I'm going to say cool a lot. Whatever that means. We're in the park 5x5. By the way, cotton wool, them clouds. It looks amazing. I think it does. Simple effects. It's just lighting, the way it's lit and shot. You just assume they've gone up in an aeroplane and just filmed some clouds. No, it's cotton wool or whatever, something cotton wool like. Oh man, we got a green lieutenant. Well, mate, thought him burping. Do apologise. I bet that. I bet James Cameron designed that radar scope, whatever, because it kind of reminded me of Escape from New York. Remember the video screens of Snake Plissken flying into New York, and you see like the outlines of the buildings. James Cameron did that. Just essentially cardboard boxes or whatever blocks, just with glow in the dark tape around. And I bet he did that landscape stuff, showing the what they call it, contour maps. I bet he did that, or he had the idea for it. Anyway, it's another bit that's not in the theatrical. Ultimate badasses refers to a weapon that's used in the Terminator, because he asked for it. Phased plasma rifle in a 40-watt range. Because he says, ball breakers, woo! And all that equipment does them no good. Well, people think the arms on the unfold look too spindly. I think Sid Mead said he thought they looked too spindly. But if you think they do from the front, but I suppose if you look at it from above, they're actually quite thick. I think it was just the angle of them that made them looked a bit weak. Cool practical effects, models, and everything. Here we go. One of my favourite shots in all of movies coming up soon. You ready? Here we go. My favourite shot. Oh, they've got good. The bug stomper there. Here we go. There we go. Down it comes. The next bit. Here it comes. My favourite shot. I just think it's so cool. That why I don't know. As the APZ is driving away, and you see the dropship fly off. I just think it's super cool. Macro binoculars, maybe. This bit with the collar, it reminds me of the Martian Chronicles. Remember that series from 79, 80, starring Rock Hudson? It reminds me of that. With the bypass. So Michael Bean replaced James Remar. as Hicks, because James Ream had problems. I can't remember if it was drugs or alcohol or something. He had problems and he couldn't do the role. But they actually did film some things with James Remar, so he's actually in the film a little bit. Don't ask me which parts, but he's in there somewhere. But I'm thinking, what was it? James Remar? They're also cast as Aragorn in Lord of the Rings. Or am I misremembering that? I don't have any way to check from where I am now. So I will check that afterwards. James Remar seems to have, if I'm right, seems to have a history of being replaced. But I'm probably wrong. Filmed in Acton Power Station, and what they call it, a disused power station in London. That they had to spend a lot of money getting rid of all the asbestos. And when they're done, they found that the air quality inside the power station was better than the air quality at Pinewood Studios, where some of the other stuff was shot. But anyway. Iconic motion tracker. Is it based on the same technology as the one that Ash made? You know, what does it detects micro variations in air density or whatever. I think we're going to see some hamsters, gerbils, whatever soon. Somehow it's raining inside. There must be a hole in the roof. I've seen this film loads of times and I've got a knot in my stomach. And I know it's not an alien that they're going to find. There we go. Oh, the rats out there, I think. Are they hamsters? Oh, that's a hamster, isn't it? Who's feeding the hamsters? Because how long has it taken them to get there? Is Newt feeding them? Or did they just have plenty of food? I don't know. Maybe the aliens are feeding them. I don't know. But how long does it take them to get there? We learned that a signal takes a week, at least a week, to get to Earth and back, to Earth, and then another week back. How fast are the ships going? We learned in the first film that this, for the Nostromo, is 6 months from Earth. So I'm guessing the Sulaco's a lot faster. Maybe they've improved drive systems and stuff. So how long does it take them to get there? Don't know. Is it 17 days? Because we're told that later on that's how long they'll be classed as overdue, 17 days. But it must take longer. I don't know. Because Hudson says Newt survived, or somebody says Newt survived longer than that, longer than 17 days without any training and all that stuff. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't really say, does it? I can't remember if it says in the novel. It's a long time since I read it. It's nearly 40 years since I read the novelisation. So I don't know if it mentioned it in that. I think that, not that, the previous shot, was that a full size or was that a miniature? I honestly don't know. It's a pity we never see them big ass guns on the APC get used, isn't it? Be nice to see them taking out, waves of aliens. I'm going to call them aliens, not xenomorphs. Why haven't they given them a name? They give bloody predators a name, didn't they? Yorkshire, however bloody hell it's pronounced. Why don't they give the aliens xenomorphs in it? Because xenomorphs just a description, isn't it? But I don't know. Maybe they have got a name again. I don't know the extended canon. I could ask Alexa, but I'm not going to. Make sure we're still recording because blooming microphones tend to switch off for me. Yes, we're still going. It's a great set design. Great set design. Very, you believe that it's a functional place. Don't know what it is. What the hell are they? Don't know. The fridges? Who knows? Maybe they are. This is some sort of science labs. They probably are, aren't they? Fridges. Uh-oh. Face huggers in jars. If I were Ripley, I'd been, why am I going? I want to stay on the APC. I'm an observer. One of the most memorable lines coming up. And a jump scare. There we go. Eee. Looks like love at first sight to me. Oh, he likes you, Burke. Lance Henriksen had contact lenses made that were never used. But there are photos of him with a contact lens with two pupils in, supposedly so he could look at two things at once. I don't know, but I think they thought it made him look, you know, villainous, maybe, I don't know, inhuman, because we're supposed to sympathise with Bishop, aren't we? Apone sounds great over the radio, doesn't he? Negative, Roger. Roger, rectum sphincter colon. What's that off? Is it Airplane? I don't know. I've heard it on something. You're ghosting us, Ripley. Keep it up. I'll cut you real quiet like. Leave you here. Got that? What film's that off for 10 points? Sorry, I'm having a drink of my cold coffee. Oh, sorry if you can hear my stomach grumbling. This is where we're going to meet Newt. And I imagine if Hicks didn't Move. There we go. Move the smart gun out of the way. It'd have just blown Newt into a million pieces. Hello. Don't mind the scary man with the machine gun that almost blew you into a million pieces. We're the good guys. Carrie Hen, I think she's an American. She's classed as American. Her dad is American. Her mother's English. She lived at RAF Lakenheath, where her dad was stationed. And at this time, she kind of had an English accent, more or less. She had a little bit of an American, maybe lilt in it, I don't know, but she more or less had an English accent. So she's kind of putting on, and you hear it in parts of it, but um, in interviews of her as an adult, she must have moved back to America, I don't know, but she's got a proper American accent. But in interviews when this film came out, she kind of sounds more or less English. Get me some hot chocolate to throw in her face. Some scalding, boiling hot chocolate. That scene has yet to come. They do a lot of practical effects, as I've said, and a lot of rear screen projection because apparently they didn't have the budget to do a lot of like blue screen effects, like using like the Star Wars films, the Star Trek films. They didn't have the budget for those sorts of effects. So they did a lot of rear screen projection and with models or people in front of them, which we'll see more of. Here we go. Scalding hot chocolate. Won't throw it in her face. I know she doesn't. She dabs a cloth in it, but scald. Ah, my lips. So was she that? Was she putting the cloth? She putting the cloth into the hot chocolate. She's basically washing her face with hot chocolate. She got all sticky. She was a proper mother. She'd spit on it and clean her face. I used to have a little girl too, but I neglected her and she's dead. Because I'm a bad mother. Now I do remember in the novelisation it's Hudson that talks about the PDTs, and Burke doesn't know what they are. Nobody calls me Rebecca except my brother. Bless her. Not an actor. Oh, she became an after this, I suppose. I don't know. She hasn't been in a lot, has she? Has she been in anything else? I have no idea. I don't think she stayed in acting, did she? Magnificent, isn't it?
Need anything else? Hello, patient. You need anything else?
I think it was that where it was supposed to have the double eye, double pupil contact lenses in. Decided against it.
Yo! Stop your grinning and drop your linen. Hell no. Live? No. Looks like all of them. Process station. Sub-level 3. Main cooling towers. See the goddamn town meeting. Let's saddle up, big palm. Aye, sir. All right. Let's go. People ain't paying us by the hour. Let's go. Hit 'em out. Okay, Frost. Good drive.
Ron Cobb. I'm terrible with names. The other, like one of the other designers were Ron Cobb, who designed stuff for this film. I'm guessing that's a miniature. Probably looks like it, doesn't it? But that's not. They had to reinforce. This is at Acton Power Station again. They had to reinforce the floor because that still weighed like 30 tons or whatever. By the way, I think there's just one. These stairs, I think there's just one of those, and they just changed the sign in the background.
Watch your spacing. Your transmission's showing a lot of breakup. Probably getting some interference from the structure. Those lights. Next one down. And proceed on a 216. I'm not making that out too well. What is it, Hudson?
Looks like some sort of secreted resin to me.
Proceed inside.
So it's like some sort of secreted resin, but secreted from what? So how do the aliens make that? Does it come out of the mouths, the bums? What? I don't know. Double negative there, Sarge. Means that everybody should touch everything. Is it Bill Pope that plays Gorman? Notice he's got holes in his ears where he's not has earrings. I think he has anyway. Looks like it to me. Just noticed it. Just an observation. Just obviously they can't, just hand them their canisters or whatever of ammo for the smart weapons. They've got a locking thing, haven't they, that disarms them. And Vasquez obviously brought spares. They said flame units only, so do the pulse rifles come with, a flamethrower built in or something? I don't know. And luckily, the one they find alive is at ground level, not up in the rafters somewhere. That's Dietrich, by the way. She's the medic, isn't she? There's also Wisbowski as well, but I've no idea which one he is. We hear his name shouted. You see the chest burst, which is slightly different to the one we saw in Alien. This one's got arms, look. I know the flamethrower's separate. I don't know, is it? Oh, I can hear it. I'm going to kick off any minute, kids. Oh, look. Oh, coming out. They're coming out the goddamn walls.
What's position? Can't lock in. Talk to me, Hudson. Multiple signals. They're closing. Go to infrared, people. Look sharp. What's happening, Napalm? Can't see anything in here. Pull your team out, Gorman. I got signals. I got readings from front and behind. Where, man? How's this shit? He's right. There's nothing back here. Look, I'm telling you, there's something moving and it ain't us. They're all around us, man. Jesus. Maybe they don't show up on infrared at all.
There, behind you. Oh. Oh, no. Is that Dietrich? Who's that that's just caught for it with that Frost? Frost were carrying the ammo, remember? I think that's Wizbowski, that, isn't it? That he just pulled away. Wow, Crow. Oh, Crow as well, I forgot about him. Whatever, we don't know what happened to him. Sorry, I'm just watching it. Super tense. I've seen this film a million times. Super tense every time. Uh-oh. Airpone's gone. Love the sound effects of the aliens in distress getting shot. Oh, talk about brain freeze or brain lock or whatever he called it with Newt. He's the same thing. He's in over his head, isn't he? Now, luckily, Ripley knows how to drive an APC. Maybe they're easy to drive, I don't know. Guessing that's a model. Guess I don't think they'd have smashed up the. I don't know. You never know. Fall back. Sometimes they seem to forget about the acid for blood and all that, and sometimes it's they do remember it. Suppose we see the aliens exploding and stuff. If we've got people nowhere near it, don't worry about it. I'm guessing. But Drake's gonna cop for it now, isn't he? think it's this scene. Is it? Is it this scene where something? One of them got, you know, hit on the head quite badly. The musical cue there were straight out of Star Trek 2. Is it this one where I think I don't know if it says in the film, but I think the novel we learn that they've got like a stinger in the tail. I think that's what came through there before she squished it. So technically, then whatever wheels are made of should all be melting with the acid, shouldn't it? But I'd be wondering, there could be like waves and waves of aliens coming out of that um, thingamabob, what they call it, atmosphere processing station, whatever they call it. Obviously, Hudson didn't get as much of that acid for blood on his arm as we thought, because he seems fine, doesn't he? But does it? I mean, the Nostromo's only worth 42 million in adjusted dollars. Yeah, for God's sake. Oh, poo. I'm in charge. They're just going to leave Bishop in the lab. They're just going to nuke Bishop. Are they just assuming He's going to meet him there. I don't know. Forgot about Bishop. They can always get another android. Some sort of goo. How did does Spunkmeyer get killed? Can we never find out? Well, if he doesn't, he gets killed in the blooming crash that's coming up. Another cool bit of rear projection coming up. There we go. And you can tell it's rear projection, but it still looks really good. I think it does anyway. I think people put too much emphasis on effects having to look real. And like a Foley person has thought, we saw that big pipe or whatever. We need to do a big pipe hitting the ground, hitting concrete effect. Go and throw a big pipe out of the window into the car park and record the audio. Have they found the bodies of Ferro and Spunkmeyer? Not to be mourning them, do they? I suppose it's just two more. On top of all the others, they're all in shock. Don't need to build one, there's already one behind you, mate. Mostly. So they're going to head back, and Bishop's like, well, you're going to just leave me behind here? Yeah, kinda. Be like, then circumstances seem to have fallen in my favour. Here we go. We didn't see the robot sentries in the theatrical version. Amazing bit of the film, and they cut it out. I think James Cameron were really sad about cutting that bit out. So it's 17 days before the cluster's overdue. But then how long will it take like a rescue team to arrive? I don't know. Chill out. Chillax, Hudson.
Check on Gorman, continue my analysis.
Fine. You do
I'd
that.
be like, everybody's dead. We're probably going to die. I'm not going to chill out or relax, Ripley. Observer.
Service tunnel must be how they're moving back and forth.
That's right. Moves to the processing station right into the sub-level here. Come down on that. Okay, come over. Go back. Okay, punch that in right there. Back.
Well, there's a pressure door at this end. Couldn't we put one of the remote sentry units in the tunnel and then seal that door?
Yeah, that'll work, but we gotta figure on getting into the complex.
That's right. So we repair the barricade.
See, Newt's getting tired now.
And weld plate steel over these ducts here and here and here. That way they can only come at us from these two corridors.
Alright, then we put the other sentry units here. Here. Right? Outstanding. Now we use a deck of cards. Alright, people, let's move like we got a purpose. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Good clunky military technology with like old style displays that, obsolete technology, but it works, which is what you want, isn't it?
What it's worth. Here, I want you to put this on.
What's it for?
It's a locator. Said I can find it anywhere in the complex. On this. Just a precaution.
Thanks.
Doesn't mean we're engaged or anything. Alright, what's next?
There were a long establishing shot there, wasn't it?
Get in. Scoot down. That's good. Now you lie here and have a nap. You're very tired.
I have scary dreams.
Well, I bet Casey doesn't have scary dreams. Let's take a look. Nope. Nothing bad in there. See? Maybe you could just try to be like her.
Ripley, she doesn't have bad dreams because she's just a piece of plastic.
You're not very good at being a mom, are you, Ripley? Here we go. Put this heater on right next to the bed so it'll catch fire.
Mama, we have no monsters. No real ones, but there are.
Yes, there are.
And they're going to get you.
Most of the time it's true.
Did one of those things go inside her?
I don't know, Newt.
And how babies come? I mean, people babies, they go inside you.
It's very different.
Did you ever have babies?
Yes, I did. I had a little girl.
Where is she?
She's gone.
You mean dead?
Here. Take this.
But she had an adventure with the
For luck.
Aliens, didn't you? Did Amanda Ripley? If you played Alien Isolation, which I've not.
Newt, I'm going to be right in the next room. Can you see that camera right up there? I can see you right through that camera all the time. See what you're saying. I'm not going to leave you, Newt. I mean it. It's a promise.
You promise?
I cross my heart
And hope to die.
and hope to die.
Stick a face hugger on my eye.
Now go to sleep. And don't dream.
Don't roll into the heater. I'm guessing it is a heat. It might not. It might just be a light. I don't know.
Bishop, that's very interesting. That doesn't really get us anywhere, does it? Trying to figure out what we're dealing with here. Let's go through it again. They grab the colonists, they move them over there, and they immobilize them to be hosts for more of these. Which would mean that there would have to be a lot of these parasites, right? One for each colonist, that's over 100 at least.
Yes, that follows.
Each one of these things comes from an egg, right? So who's laying these eggs?
I'm not sure. It must be something we haven't seen yet. Maybe it's like an ant hive.
Bees. Now bees have hives.
You know what I mean?
No, but
One female that runs
setting up the queen out there here. But it could just easily they all could have come from the eggs on the derelict. As far as they know, that's what she should say, shouldn't she? Maybe they brought all the eggs from the derelict here, or at least 100 or whatever from the eggs from the derelict. Brought them there. That'd be my first conclusion. Anyway,
we can both come out as heroes, and we will be set up for life.
so we're learning that Carter Burke's the bad guy.
Do you really think you can get a dangerous organism like that past ICC quarantine?
How can they impound it if they don't know about it?
They will know better, Burke. From me. Just like they'll know that you were responsible for the deaths of 157 colonists.
Wait a sec.
You sent them to that ship.
You're wrong.
I just checked the colony log. Directive dated 6/12/79, signed Burke, Carter J. You sent them out there and you didn't even warn them. Why didn't you warn them, Burke?
Okay, look. What if that ship didn't even exist? You ever think about that? I didn't know. So now if
I think that's how we get the dating of the ship, by the way, of the series. This is set in 2179. Original Alien set in 2122.
These people are dead, Burke! But you have any idea what you've done here? Well, I'm gonna make sure that they nail you right to the wall. You're not gonna squeeze your way out of this one. Right to the wall.
Ripley, I expected more from you. I thought you'd be smarter than this.
Here we have another scene that's not in the theatrical edition with the sentry guns. Yeah, we're gonna run out. It's supposed to last 17 days at least. Yeah, pretty much. He's gonna bite on this rock.
Well, we've got to get the other dropship from Sirocco. I mean, there must be some way of bringing it down on remote.
Hell, the transmitter's on the APC. It's wasted.
Well, I don't care how, but we better think of something. We better think of a way.
Think of what? We're fucked. Shut up. Dude, shut up. What about the colony transmitters? The uplink tower's out the other end. What have you? No, I checked it. The hardware in between here and that was damaged. We can't align the dish.
Well, somebody's going to have to go out there. Take a portable terminal, go out there and patch in manually.
Oh, yeah, sure. With those things running around? You can count me out. I guess I'll just count you out of everything. That's right, man. And once you go,
So Bishop has been Frodo Baggins there. I'll go.
Right, Jim. Bishop should go. Good idea.
It's proper claustrophobic, this. That freaks me out. I don't know how Lance Henriksen did this.
This conduit runs almost the utmost. 180 meters. Say 40 minutes to pull down.
Right.
An hour to patch in and line the antenna. 30 minutes to prep the ship. And about 50 minutes flight time.
It's going to be close.
Just gives the gun straight back to Ripley. Yeah, don't start welding it until I'm out of the way. Oh. Super. Claustrophobic. And there was a scene, which probably when it gets a bit further on, when he comes across an alien, doesn't he, through like an air vent or something. An alien sees him and puts its tongue, whatever, tongue teeth, whatever they are, through the vent at him. But then loses interest because he's not alive. All the acid flying about, there'd just be nothing left of that tunnel. It'd just be all melted through.
Retreating. Can't stop them.
Next thing you look right at the mark.
Yeah, but they don't know that. They're probably looking for other ways to get in. That'll take them a while.
Maybe we got them more alive. I want you two walking for in there. Move! Hey, listen. Well, it's turning out safe. But stay frosty. Alert. Can't afford to
Didn't
let
help
them
Frost, did it?
It doesn't scare any sleep. Well,
It's not going to end up like that.
I was asleep for 57 years.
Take care of it, won't you?
Once.
here comes the man. I'll do us both. Listen, let's just make sure it doesn't come back. Alright? I want to introduce you to Chris, my friend. This is an M41-8 pulse rifle, 10 millimeter, an over and under 30 millimeter action grenade launcher. Get away.
Sigourney Weaver's doesn't like Weavers. Sigourney Weaver doesn't like guns, and when she got the script, she kind of skipped over all the bits that the scene description parts of the script. So she never knew she'd have to handle a gun. She just read the lines and stuff like that for Ripley and all that. She never read the part about having to use a gun. And so when this time came for this scene, she says, "What's all these guns here for? What have I got to hold one for?" And James Cameron were like, "Have you read the script?" He went, "Well, my parts." So I think it took her to, a firing range, a shooting range, and she had a lot of fun. But I think she's still kind of one of these anti-gun people, which is fair enough. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, what we've got coming up now is she's going to go to sleep now, with Newt under the bed. But then they're going to wake up, and we're going to find out that they were in the same room as the face hugger in the test tube, whatever, specimen jar, whatever the hell it's in, the alive one. So I want to know, and we find out, obviously, also that it was Burke that released it. And how did he do it? Did he just go take the top off the jar and run out really quick and lock the door? I have no idea. Another cool, like I say, rear projection shot. You'd think it's actually there, wouldn't you? It looks amazing. I think it's amazing. Of course, when they do rear projection stuff like this, that also means they've got to do the effect shots before the actual scene is shot, doesn't it? But I'm guessing stuff like that, they do as pick-up shots after principal photography. That's what I'm guessing. Because obviously, effect shots and all that and becomes part of post-production, doesn't it, after the principal photography? So I'm guessing a lot of the rear projection shots were done after principal photography. But I could be wrong. I'm just guessing and I'm waffling and I know. And she's noticed here. Look, there we go. How did he do that? I don't know. Did he open it by hand and run out, as I said, and lock the door? Or was there a way for him to do it remotely with a computer to unlock the jar? I don't know. It doesn't say, does it? He's taking the gun as well. Look. So he must have actually been in there physically while she was asleep. So she's obviously a heavy sleeper. Oh, Carter Burke's really light on his loafers. Really cool effects, with the face hugger, really simply done. Sometimes it's just a rubber face hugger that they're pulling along on a string, but it works. They did have I don't know if you could call it animatronic. It was like one of those toys, that's on a rotating wind-up thing. They had that to keep the legs going. But because you don't see it on screen for very long, it works, doesn't it? But here he was saying how what a bad guy he is. Look, he's done that and turned off that camera. And good job, none of them noticed that, didn't they? None of them looks and says, "Hang on, what's happened to the camera in Medbay?" I think at least Hicks had been wanting to keep an eye on Ripley, wouldn't you? Break the glass. It's a good job that they got some good glass in there, didn't they? She looks like she's really giving that a whack, doesn't it? I bet they had fun testing that. It's obviously not glass, is it? It'll be some sort of plastic or whatever, perspex or something. I bet you were really giving that a whack. With that chair. I wonder if that chair were made of, soft plastic or something. I don't know. But anyway. Luckily, she's a smoker. You see, they made her a smoker so that we could have had this. Do you think that's true? Or as they were writing the script, did they think, ooh, she's a smoker? She can do the fire thing, the sprinklers. What a happy circumstance. Oh, my, because there's two in there. Yes, two are alive. Yeah, I think it said earlier on. Reverse photography, done stuff like that with the tail going round the neck. Here comes another. Ah, behind you with its fingers. So luckily, she's a strong little girl, isn't she, holding that there? Shoot the glass. See, it is glass, look. All right, you've got it, Hudson. What the hell? Yeah, Hudson. Why aren't they all acid going? Is the water washing it away? Doesn't water and acid? I suppose it depends on the acid, doesn't it? But sometimes it makes it worse, doesn't it? Sorry, I'm laughing because here we go. Tell us how you feel, Hudson.
Yes, the only way he could do it is if he sabotaged certain freezers on the way home. Namely yours. Then he could jettison the bodies and make up any story he wanted. Who's that? You dog me, pal.
This is so nuts. I mean, listen to what you're saying. It's paranoid delusion. It's really sad. It's pathetic.
You know, Brooke, I don't know which species is worse. You don't see them fucking each other over for a goddamn percentage.
All right, we wasted.
Is that the only time she swears? He uses an F bomb in. Oh no, because she says it in the first film, doesn't she? She tells Yaphet Kotto to F off, doesn't she? They're animals, man. And of course, we see Jeanette Goldstein again in James Cameron's Terminator 2 Judgment Day, where she play Janelle, John Connor's foster mother, his doomed foster mother.
Inside the perimeter. They're in here.
Get back, both of you!
This thing is weird. She's an interference or something.
It's aliens, not poltergeist. Don't look at the light. Let's go. Short controlled bursts, just like in Dog Soldiers. They ripped that off. Sorry, homaged in Dog Soldiers from this. Here with the famous shot here where they just turned the camera upside down and filmed the fellas in the alien suits crawling along the floor. Turn the camera upside down. Looks like they're crawling along the ceiling. By the way, I think the aliens, the xenomorphs in this, look a lot better in this, I think, than in the other films that had the smooth skull, what do we call it? In this, they've gone for the the textured skull, and the smooth part were like a see through, like translucent thing over that, wasn't it? James Cameron thought it looks more interesting without that smooth part, and I agree with him. Poor Hudson. I think he's gone trigger happy. Looks like it, doesn't it? That is where the fingers go over it. There we go. They've got him. Ah, watch out for the acid. See, they forget about it sometimes, don't they? Spraying acid everywhere. When it isn't going all over the. They did. I think they did. Did they actually film the scene where Burke gets got? I think they did, didn't they? But they didn't even include it. I don't think in this, did they? We see this, but I think there was a scene of him actually being got. Or does she come across him? I think she comes across him later, doesn't she? I think in the when she goes back later on into the processing station, like she found Dallas in Alien. I think she finds Carter Burke, doesn't she? But I don't know if that's included in the special edition. I can't remember. Or am I Miranda effect, Mandela affecting again? Could be. John McClane's not in one of those vents. Come to LV426, we'll have a few laughs. Can you speed it up a bit? See, remembering the acid now, and the need to. Should have shown a nice, gruesome bit of eating through her, leaving a foot behind as he drags her away. What? Is it that again? Now the Carrie Hen enjoyed this part so much, she kept blowing her take or whatever so she could do it again and again because she thought it was a lot of fun. This bit where she goes down on that. She thought it was fun, so she kept fluffing it somehow. Don't ask me how. So she could ride it again and again. Or what? This next bit where she slides down the. It might be the next bit where she slides down the tube or the vent or whatever. There we go. That bit. I think it was that bit that she liked. Could find her with this because I know that you put the tracker thing on there, even though I give it to you. I don't care for the little kid. Says Heeks.
This way. She's close.
It's another cool scene coming up where the alien comes out of the water. But she said to Carrie Hen that she was never scared in any of these scenes because obviously they go over it and over it, what's going to happen, and so she knows it's a puppet or a man in a suit or whatever. She's never scared. The only thing that scared her, she says, was when she went to the premiere and the scene from earlier on where the face hugger appears in the jar and the first jump scare that we've had. She didn't see that being shot because she wasn't in that scene, and that was the only thing that made her jump and scared because she wasn't prepared for that. Just Newt's head. They couldn't afford a proper prosthetic. I know it's the doll. Being daft. Tiny little lift, isn't it? Elevator, whatever. When we see him in a bit, it's suggested that he's got some on his face, but we can't really see that here, can we? Because he's all bandaged up in his face as well. And then for Neil Blomkamp's sequel, or Alien 5, whatever, that were going to follow on from this and ignore Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. It showed Hicks with like a scarred face, from the acid burn. But you didn't really see it there. You just saw that it land on his armour, didn't we? Anyway, whatever. Again, cool rear projection. And James Horner had written, the score, but apparently they changed the ending. I don't know how they changed the ending, but which meant he had to essentially rewrite the end of the movie, which is why he fell out with James Cameron. He had to rewrite the music for the end of the movie. I think essentially did it overnight. He wasn't happy. The late James Horner. I think this film got it got nominated for 5 Academy Awards. I think it was 5. I'm not sure if it won any. It probably did, but Sigourney Weaver was nominated for Best Actress. Unfortunately, I don't think she won. She didn't win. Don't ask me who won for. It'll be 1988, won't it? I imagine 1988 Oscars. I can't check. There's no way for me to check. Actually, no, there is. Bear with me. Let's have a look. Just bear with me. I'm just checking. Oh, Dwayne. 1988 Academy Awards. Which were the 60th Academy Awards. It was Cher won for Moonstruck. In an actress in a leading role. Let's have a look. Where are we? Where's the winners and nominations? Michael Douglas won for Wall Street that year. Sean Connery won for The Untouchables. No, it isn't. It isn't that year. So she must have got it in for 1987 then. Oh, I'm going to have to... Never mind. Just bear with me. 1987. Did this come out in 1987 or 1986? Oh, dear. 59th Academy Awards. Right, where were we? Yes, Sigourney Weaver nominated for Aliens. Marley Matlin for Children of a Lesser God. Is she the blind deaf woman or the whatever? I think she is, isn't she? She might not be blind. Might be deaf and dumb or whatever. What else did Aliens get nominated for? Bear with me. One nominated for Best Picture. Let's have a look. Aliens got 7 nominations. What did it win for, though? We will find out. What's it say? Reception, accolades. There we go. Got 2 for sound effects and best visual effects. So it won 2 Academy Awards. So it's an Oscar-winning movie and 7 nominations, which I think is the same as what Star Wars got, I think. Anyway, she's gone back in. Sorry for that distraction. She's gone back in. Are we still on? Yes, we're still good. She's suited up. She's gone all Arnold Schwarzenegger, and she's going to go back in and find Newt, because she's guessing that they're taking her back. Well, she knows because she's got the tracker, hasn't she? Obviously, yes. I hope this film ends really soon, because I am dying for the loo. I should have gone beforehand, I know. But it is quite a long film. We are well over 2 hours into it. And I am old. and diabetic. I think the flamethrower's separate, isn't it, to the pulse rifle? Because she strapped them together, didn't she? Obviously, the secreted resin's fireproof. You know what? I think I may have to rethink my top 10 favourite movies of all time and put this in. I might have to swap out Predator. I'm trying to think of the others that I've got in there. Can't remember what's in my top 10. I've got Predator, Star Trek 2. This is not in any order. I'm just trying to remember. Close Encounters, Original King Kong. What else have I got in there? I can't remember what's in my top 10 favourite. But Aliens isn't one of them. I don't think it is. What else is in there? But after watching this, I haven't watched this for a while, and this is going to go in my top 10 now. I'd forgot how good it is, this film. I think that stuff they've put her in, it's some sort, is it like fiberglass or something? It's not good for a child's skin, is it? Ooh. Sound effects squelchy. Right, now you know where she is, because she's got a piercing. Could there be any more piercing? Or shrill? And hopefully none of the acids sprayed onto Newt are that as well. I think she cut her hand doing this. That's it. It's like, pardon me, like fiberglass or whatever, or something. And I think parts of it were quite sharp, and I think she did cut her hand. If I'm remembering rightly, probably not. But I'm sure I remember reading that somewhere, or seeing it, or hearing it, or whatever. Or dreaming it, maybe. Who knows? Anyway, James Bond style, the alien secret base is blowing up around her. But not before we have another rear projection bit, don't we, with the alien queen? Or parts of it, I think, a rear projection. Maybe not. I don't know, I can't remember. It's a Japanese cabbage field. Have you seen that? That picture that goes, it pops up on the internet every now and again. This field of cabbages in Japan that looks just like a field of alien eggs. Here's the Queen and her egg sack and ovipositor. So obviously the aliens breathe because you can hear her breathing, can't you? So how can they survive in space if they breathe? Maybe they can just hold the breath for a really long time. Because they must have lungs if they can hiss. Or something where they can push air out of the mouth. I think there's a rear projection somewhere. Maybe it's at the end where it's all blowing up. When she fires the grenades and stuff. He threatening to kill her babies. Told you she were a bad mother. Right, so now you should just go now. Just back off. But no, she's going to just kill them all because that's all she's bothered about, isn't it? To wipe them out. Oh, see. You betrayed me, human. We made a deal or whatever. I thought we had an understanding. Humans aren't to be trusted. As Ripley pointed out earlier on. She soon got the hang of that gun, didn't she? And the grenade launcher part of it. I think that's a reprojection. Stop shooting my egg sack. They're forgetting all about the acid now, aren't they? Just for convenience sake. Her Majesty's not going to be a happy bunny, is she? I think this was the largest puppet. Maybe it still is, I don't know, but the largest puppet ever made for a film. I do believe. She's following her flares back out. So come on, elevator. I've only got 4 minutes, for crying out loud. Yes. There'll be somebody on another floor. Ah, there you are, Ripley. Because the Queen's got a deep voice. Failed to mention Stan Winston, haven't I? The late great Stan Winston. He's, his company, Stan Winston Studios, did all the makeup and puppet effects and all that, all the aliens and all that stuff. The company's no more, is it? Stan Winston died, and for some bizarre reason, I've no idea why, they changed the name of the company to Legacy. Obviously, I'm guessing it's in honour of Stan Winston. Why not just keep it called Stan Winston Studios in his memory? Now it's called Legacy. And you don't really see them very often. I don't think, are they not the same company they used to be? I don't know. I recently saw a film called Antlers, and they did the effects in that. And spoilers, the monster in that really looks like an alien queen. And that was a newish film from 2021. Not bad, not bad. Anyway, the alien queen knows how to operate an elevator. She knows what button to press. Right, she thinks Bishop's deserted them because you can't trust an android. But don't worry, he'll be back. He'll be back. Like your goose is cooked, Ripley. Uh-oh. Don't know how she fitted in there. She must have scrunched up a bit. Well, you can see. Wrapped a tail around her. He's here. He's Bishop. Jump for your lives. Now then. Obviously, you've watched this. You know what's going to happen in a bit. So we're guessing now is how the Queen ends up back up at the Sulaco. This bit here, look. She's somehow got in there amongst all that. Although it didn't really show it, did it? But she's in there somewhere. Disguised as wreckage. And pulling her face. Here's the music that gets used in, or for a while got used in every trailer imaginable. Cotton wool again. With lights underneath. To create a cloud of vapour the size of Nebraska. That's obviously a blue screen thing, isn't it? I think the only way to do that, wasn't it? But it's not over yet. Kids. It's a false ending, or whatever. What's the phrase? A false climax, fake climax. Shouldn't be saying that, should they? That sounds a bit rude. Not that I've ever experienced one of those. Uh-oh. No. I shouldn't have drunk all that milk. Because he's in a... What is it? I can't remember. I'm thinking of Anchorman, where he's drinking the milk in the phone booth. He's fine. But he's half the man he used to be. Ba-dum-ts. Here we go. What sensors do they have? She can obviously hear her, and they must be able to see her in some way. They don't have eyes or ears that we can see. So I wonder what sensors they have. Is it just something that we haven't even thought of? Don't know. By the way, if you're wondering, where did the eggs come from? Alien 3. There must have been at least 2 eggs, mustn't there? I think. Is it 2? I'm trying to think now. Because in Alien 3, Ripley gets impregnated, doesn't she? and then there's another one, isn't there, with the face we'll get in. So at least two. So then, how did the eggs get aboard the Sulaco? Well, I'm guessing the alien queen must have had a couple inside. She had the egg sac, so maybe there were a couple. She were carrying a couple with her, if you know what I mean. That's what I'm thinking. And she just deposited them. Anyway, classic line in all of movies.
Get away from her, you bitch.
Ooh. Going for the big smackdown. Oh, it is exciting. By the way, how great this film is, it is not devoid of mistakes, as you will see. Because there's a couple coming up. Good job you can do that, innit? With from the loader, open the airlock. Why would it have that? But thank goodness it does. Right here, watch the light, the orange light. Smash! The orange light smashed. But then suddenly, magically, it's back again. Look, it's fine, is the orange light. Yep, we saw it smash, but never mind. I think also the Queen's tail was broken off at the end. I think we see. There, look. There's no end to her tail. But I think when she goes out the airlock, I think she's got a full tail back again. No, take a deep breath and hang on to something. No, don't take a deep breath and then exhale slowly. That's what you have to do, isn't it? So your lungs don't burst. Because I know all about space. There goes the load. She's got strong arms, hasn't she? There she goes. Now then, she got a full tail back when we see her. I think she has. I don't know. I think she did, 'cause I think we saw it before, and I think she had the full tail back, with the pointy end. You'd think there'd be a way of closing the outer hatch from inside, wouldn't you? But that wouldn't be as exciting. All the gonk droids are all falling out into space. Not being sucked out into space, being blown out into space, by the way. That's the difference. Oh, mommy. Anyway, I like to think, I don't know if this were going to be in Neil Blomkamp's Alien 5, that the events of Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection were a hypersleep nightmare that she were having. Because she says they can dream on the way home. in this bit, doesn't she? So the Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection, even though I do like those films, never really happened. They were a nightmare. And Hicks is still alive, and Bishop got fixed. And Newt's still alive, obviously. And so's Ripley. I'm sorry, Sigourney, but your hair, you look like blooming him off Ancient Aliens or Londo Malari. Oh no, they've changed it now. They've tousled the hair back down a bit. Right, so they've gone to sleep now. So off the Sulaco goes. I'm guessing because she must know how to fly the ship, so she's set a course back for Earth. I'm guessing, but they don't get that far, do they? No, they do, because in my new headcanon, Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection never happened. But I don't know what the story of Neil Blomkamp's Alien would have been. But anyway, never mind. So that's the end of Alien Special Edition. One of the greatest films ever made, in my opinion. Really, 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 really good. Top-notch stuff. And if I'd ever done my top 10 favourite movies of all time, I think I'm going to have to swap out a film for Aliens. If it's not in there, because I honestly can't remember. Anyway, whatever. Right. So, we will leave it there. We will leave it there while the credits go up. While the credits go. A famously troubled production. The British crew didn't like James Cameron, probably because he knew what he was doing and they couldn't get away with anything because he knows every job. James Cameron is a bit annoying, isn't he? But yeah, he's a genius. He makes me bloody sick. He can do everything, can't he? So there you go. There you go. And I think they resented him, didn't they? They resented his youth and his knowledge and the fact that he wanted to get the job done. But they got through and they made an amazing film, didn't they? They made an amazing film. A film that, in my opinion, is better than Alien. But it's apples and oranges, isn't it? The two different sorts of films, even though they're set in the same universe. The two Alien is a horror film. This is an action film. So you can't really compare them. But this is a more enjoyable film than Alien, in my opinion. But that's just me. Right, so there we go. We're getting to the end of the credits. It's not a credits that goes on for a million years. So we'll leave it there. We will leave it there. 1986, not 1987. I'm an idiot. So we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching. And wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll say there.
That old Yorkshire geek with stories